there's a lot of scams that are going to be uncovered over the next few years. And I'm excited not only for the positive trajectory, but I'm also excited about what people are going to be able to create. It's not just animal spirits, man. It's creativity that's being unleashed, Melissa.
You had a term I thought was pretty cool. It was Trumponomics. I thought that was a
Yeah.
pretty
I mean, I remember when Biden, I think, on the coattails of Obama's Obamacare, because remember, let's take a step back, people. If you are motivated to be a politician for life, think about what motivates you. Think about what you are after. It's not necessarily to maximize efficiency. It's not necessarily to get the most wins or to, it doesn't have to do a lot with merit, unfortunately. It's all about votes. It's about how you look. It's about how you're remembered. Now, listen, I want to be remembered well. I want to be remembered in a positive light. I think all non psychotic people would want that. But that's the reason why I wrote the book and why I'm continuing to write more, continuing to try to teach and get my thoughts across. And that's why I really commend you and your team for the podcast. But if you're a politician, a career politician, then you just want to be remembered as better than others. And it's really about being popular, not about problem solving. So I think that Obamacare motivated Bidenomics, and I'm excited about Trumponomics or whatever the hell you want to call it. Like, call it what you will. I think it's Make America Great Again. I think America is back, baby, is the way that I like to call it. Because America is back. People have, instead of becoming woke, they have awoken.
Tesla and Elon Musk. Trump and Elon have definitely created this force right now that's being talked about. What are some of the things that you see happening here? Like, how are they going to help each other and help drive technology and business?
What we're about to do is utilize technology in the way that it should be utilized, okay? We have more transparency on X recently than we've had on, I would argue, any major media outlet, perhaps over the last decade. And people are now very clear about who they trust. We're getting back to normalcy. The world is not flat. Boys have one thing and girls got another, and they're not supposed to play in the same league when one can get hurt. Profits are not evil. What's evil is preventing people from profiting.
No, that's true. And then you have, I know they were saying like, startups, for example, that was like a little bit slowed, that had slowed down. And, just like entrepreneurs and people trying to get small businesses off the ground. Do you think that's going to like be a little bit more like flourishing now that's going to get a little bit of a kickstart?
I don't think it will be a little bit more flourishing. I think it's going to explode in the way that we need it to. Melissa, Bill, let me tell you, people are so excited about this. There is so much dry powder. So, for our listeners and viewers, dry powder is a Wall Street term for tons of money sitting on the sideline, and it wants to go run out there on the field. It wants to invest in something, buy something, build something, start something. And we're going to see that. We're going to see explosive growth. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is in the short term, there's still going to be inflation, and you're already seeing it, right? But it's short term, right? Now, if growth can outgrow the inflation rate, that's a positive. We're in the right direction.
So we have to go through that little bit of to kind of push it up. We got to go through that little bit of a rough spot to kind of get it back on like an even type of, I guess, playing
Absolutely.
field.
You're headed home to your mansion. Well, you're going fast on the speedway. You got to slow down for the exit, and then you got to stop. You have to go over a couple of speed bumps, make sure there's no danger, and then you get in. Maybe that analogy is a stretch, but I'm feeling creative and optimistic.
And now I know one other industry is the crypto. Now you said that that's probably we're gonna see that just kind of get the doors opening on that.
So first of all, I love this question. And the short answer is yes, crypto is going to grow. Blockchain, which is the genius technology behind Bitcoin, right? So it's not about just some fad called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is based on a technology that is so game changing. So I'm going to sound like a bit of a nerd here, but the last time that I think we have seen a game changer like this was during the Renaissance when during the Medici era. And that's when we came up with double entry accounting. So that's how significant this is. And for those of you guys that don't know double entry accounting, that is what all accounting is based on. So if you own stock in a publicly traded company, they're using double entry accounting. If you do your tax return, that's double entry accounting. All businesses use double entry accounting. And maybe in the future, all businesses will use blockchain.
And that will be, but like, so what are some other things like as far as, do you think crypto is just going to continue to grow? Also in investment world is going to come back to where it was prior as far as being a good investment option for people.
I think that more and more people are going to become more comfortable investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Uh, and I think they're going to be less intimidated by words like cryptocurrency, like blockchain technology. Evolutions don't happen all at once. It takes time. And if you ever looked at a stock chart or any chart that is involving a natural phenomenon, it's never a straight line. It's always a zigzag, right? So right now we've zigged a lot if we think of a zig as going up. So there might be a zag a little bit, but in the long term, actually, let me take a step back, Melissa. Here's the best way that I describe it to people, especially if we're talking about the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So let's talk about Bitcoin specifically. Price is a function of supply and demand. Normally, those things move all the time. They can change at any time, but not in this case. Bitcoin, the supply is maximum 21 million. We're close to the maximum. There's not a lot of things that you could trade that are close to a maximum supply. Let's look at the demand. First of all, as long as human population grows, that's more demand.
The US is leading. Who would be some of the other ones in gold, just out of curiosity?
China is buying gold like you wouldn't believe. Same thing with Russia. India is buying gold. Turkey is buying gold. A lot of countries, Latin America is buying gold. Um, People are buying gold for the same reasons that they have always valued gold. There's not enough of it. And it's not like other materials. It doesn't rust. It never goes away. You can turn it into anything you want. You could take a piece of gold that's like this big and you can cover an entire mansion with the gold leaf. It's so malleable. We are attracted to gold for so many reasons, and there are a lot of theories as to why. So I don't want to speculate on those, but I'll tell you this. The downside of gold is that it's heavy. You know what I mean? If you want to travel with your gold, good luck to you,
You
right?
can't just pack it away in a suitcase.
Someone can steal it. Someone could put a gun to your head. So here's the bottom line. The difference between Bitcoin, which is kind of like a digital gold, if someone puts a gun to your head and says, give me your Bitcoin, they're stupid because it's in an encrypted wallet that's in your head. And if they kill you, they kill your Bitcoin.
So it's more protected as far as, that makes sense. And you're going to be able to have it like, I guess as things move on, because that's a whole nother ballgame. You have like trusts and wills, like Bitcoin. I mean, at this point, is that something that's in that type of like crypto? Is that in that type of thing? Like people put it in their wills or their trust. Will it be something that will grow like that? Like an inheritance, I wonder.
So the short answer is yes. So here's my prediction. 10 years from now, it will be standard for any 401k, for any uh, brokerage account, pension, these types of things. Your financial advisor showing you all these fact sheets and research reports. Crypto will be standard. It will be part of the commodity exposure, which is itself part of the alternative investment allocation. An alternative investment on Wall Street just means something outside of stocks and bonds. So Wall Street decided many moons ago, if it's a stock or a bond, then yeah, it's normal. And anything that's not real estate, your house, gold, silver, uh, you know, grain, whatever, anything that's not a stock or a bond, it's alternative.
What about oil and gas and that type of thing?
Commodities, that's alternative investments. Yep. Oh, but in other words, like, what is my view on that?
No, but you were saying it's an alternative investment. That's why I
It's
was wondering.
considered that, yeah. So if you're
Okay.
sitting down with someone with a CFP, which I used to have, I don't practice financial planning anymore, but for the record, yeah, I did. I passed the CFP exam, and I have the designation. I understand what they teach. I don't agree with everything they teach. In the CFP exam, they teach that volatility equals risk. The reason why our investors are earning the returns they are is because we see volatility as an asset, not as a risk. If you're selling me a dollar on one day for a dollar 10 and another day for 60 cents and another day for a dollar 50, I'm going to turn that dollar into way more than a dollar. I can tell you that.
And then for like oil, well, let's go and get into that. So oil and gas industry, that's another one that I know Trump said he's going to help that kind of get back on track. We already, the US is one of the top producers of oil and gas. So what's going to happen in that industry?
I think we're going to drill, baby, drill, but listen, I think we're going to make America great again. We are sitting on so much energy. We shouldn't be sending money to people that hate us. We shouldn't be sending money outside of our country when people inside of our country, our neighbors, our our fellow Americans, they need it. Shelter costs, unaffordable. Food, unaffordable. Healthcare, unaffordable and unimaginably negative. There's a lot of scams that are going to be uncovered over the next few years. And I'm excited not only for the positive trajectory, but I'm also excited about what people are going to be able to create. It's not just animal spirits, man. It's creativity that's being unleashed, Melissa.
Right. And not be afraid to put it out there and try to strive for, not for something bigger. I think that's like, I think a lot of
Sure.
people.
And not only not be afraid, but not get rejected for your application. Not get your time wasted. Not be like, oh, you're not dark enough, or your private part is the wrong kind that we need. Come on. That's not what America is about.
So as we wrap it up, are there any other things you'd like to add as far as maybe some things that you kind of foresee happening?
How about this? I just think we're headed in the right direction. And every day I'm excited to learn about what's been added to help us get there faster and safer and stronger.